And Manuel Ugarte to Manchester United take one massive step closer. Victor Lindelof apparently in talks with Fiorentina over permanent sale, plus also a bit of a preview for the game against Fulham tonight. These are some of the stories we will be discussing on this evening's show. But before we get into that, please do me one small favour. Smash a like on today's video. Let's try and see 1,000 likes on this episode. And if this is your first time watching, please do subscribe to the channel. I'm live every single day at 8:30, 1:30 and 6. We're on the road to 40k subscribers. We're very, very close now. So if this is your first time watching, please do consider subscribing. Completely free content, doesn't cost any money, and everyone is welcome. Right, let's start the show off by talking a little bit about the game against Fulham, because there is some breaking news that's just come out in the last couple of minutes that apparently Amad Diallo is set to start the game against Fulham. I'm so happy about this. I think Amad deserves his chance. And you know what? I want nothing more than Amad Diallo to have the breakthrough season this year. I think he's been so patient. He went off on loan to Sunderland, did really, really well there. And this is his year. This is Amad's make or break year. And I've got faith in him. I think he's going to show the world how good of a player he is, because Amad is one of those players that for me, when I watch him, he gets me off my seat. He excites me. His first touch is beautiful. His ability to take on people is like nothing we've got at Manchester United at the moment, other than maybe Garnacho. And I think he can literally hold down that right-hand side if he plays his cards right. So Amad Diallo apparently starts tonight. That's the news that's just broke in the last couple of minutes. In relation to the rest of the team news, I'm not entirely sure at this point, but we have confirmed that Mazraoui is at Old Trafford and De Ligt is at Old Trafford. And so is Joshua Zirkzee as well. So all of our new signings, apart from Lenny Yoro, will be at Old Trafford tonight and should feature in the game in some capacity. I'm going to be honest, right? And I don't want to overgas it, but I am so excited for this season to start. And I feel actually quite positive. I think we're going to batter Fulham tonight. Obviously, you can come and join me for my match reaction, which will be at about 10 p.m. tonight. Hopefully, I'm right. I'm going with a 3-0 win. I think we're going to batter them. I feel really, really confident. I think when you look at Fulham's side, they've lost Paulinho, who was their best midfielder, and they've lost Tosin, who was their best defender, and they haven't really strengthened to this point. The only signing that Fulham have made is Emile Smith-Rowe, who's an attacking midfielder. So, and Willian's gone as well. So I'm feeling really confident. I think we've got more than enough to beat Fulham tonight. No game in the Premier League is easy, but I honestly do think that Manchester United are going to put Fulham to the sword tonight, under the spotlights at Old Trafford, 8 o'clock kickoff, first game of the season. The atmosphere will be absolutely unbelievable for that game tonight. So yeah, I'm going 3-0 Manchester United. Obviously, you guys can let me know in the comment section, in the live chat, what are your score predictions for the game tonight? Let me know who's going to score. Obviously, at 10 p.m, I will be going live with the match reaction. So hopefully we have something to celebrate, because I'm absolutely buzzing. I'm so excited. I don't know whether... The thing is, right, with Manchester United, I honestly think that this season, this is the most excited I've been going into a new season. You know, we've got Ruud van Nistelrooy, we've got Rene Haak, we've signed all of these really good players. You've got Dan Ashworth, Omar Barada, Jason Wilcox. Like, we're finally looking like a proper football club again. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to win the league. That doesn't mean that we're going to be unbeatable. But what it does mean is we have a better chance going into this season than we have in any previous years, I think. So I'm really, really hyped for this. 3-0 Manchester United I'm going for. Let's see what people are saying in the comment section. Ant says 4-1. Lord Ashley says 4-0. Fred says 2-0. Michael says 2-1. Amelia says we're going to win 5-0. There we go. That's the kind of positivity I like. And that's like... that's the kind of thing that we like on this channel. All the people asking about watch along, I'm not going to do a watch along for tonight's game because I want to be able to give the game my full attention. Like, I'm still trying to get my head around watch alongs. It's quite difficult to focus on the game whilst also trying to keep you entertained. So tonight, there will be no watch along. I'm going to watch the game. It's going to have my full undivided attention. But I will be live at 10 p.m. to do the... the match reaction. So yeah, that's my preview for the Fulham game. Amad Diallo apparently starts. I'm going 3-0 Manchester United. Let me know your score predictions in the comment section right now. And let's start the show off by talking about Victor Lindelof then, shall we? Because this story broke a couple of hours ago from Damasio, who I still think is reliable. For Italian football, Damasio is still one of the top players in the journalism world. And he is reporting that apparently Fiorentina are in talks with Manchester United to sign Victor Lindelof. He says they are currently discussing the conditions of a possible deal for the defender with Manchester United. I think that would be a great move for Lindelof, to be honest. Like, Fiorentina are a decent side. You know, that's going to play in the Serie A. It's still one of the top 5 leagues in the world. So yeah, hopefully this deal goes through. Manchester United have apparently told Fiorentina that they want £10 million for Victor Lindelof. 1 year left on his contract. He's on big wages at Manchester United, so it would be good to get his wages off the wage bill. He earns currently £120,000 a week at Manchester United, which is about $6.5 million a season. Massive amounts of money. So yeah, getting him off the wage bill, getting 10 million in the bank, I think it's an absolute no-brainer for me personally. Like Lindelof, I don't think Lindelof's ever really been good enough for Manchester United. And I think, to be fair, he has been tarnished with playing alongside Maguire. I just don't think he's good enough. He's not fast enough. He's not strong enough. He's not good enough in the air. He's okay on the ball. But yeah, people in the chat are asking for the fantasy football code. So yes, if anybody wants to get involved in my fantasy football league, I'm going to drop a link into the chat to do that now. There will be a prize at the end of the season. So for anybody asking for the code, it is this. The code is, and if the mods could just repost this into the chat, fantasy football code. So if the mods in the chat could just keep reposting the fantasy football code that I've just put in there, that would be really, really appreciated. Go and join the Daily Red Devil Fantasy Football League. If you can't find it, just go on Fantasy Football, go on Leagues, type in Daily Red Devil, and you should be able to find it there. There will be a prize at the end of the season. Obviously, you've got to join now to be entered into it. So make sure you join in the next couple of hours. Otherwise, yeah, you won't be entered into the squad. So go and do that right now. Red Devil says, do you think Xerxes will start today? I don't think Xerxes will start, to be honest, but we'll wait and see. So yeah, if you want to go join the fantasy football code, I've just dropped the link into the chat. The code is 2, the number 2, HCNEG. So you can go and do that now. But back to the topic of Lindelof. It looks like this one probably will go ahead. Obviously, Di Marzio, as I said, I think is very, very reliable around Italian football. And for him to come out saying that Manchester United are currently negotiating with Fiorentina, I think it probably will happen. Obviously, there's a chance that we might go back in for Amrabat. Maybe there's a chance that we do a swap deal, Lindelof for Amrabat. I would take that. I think we still need to strengthen our midfield, even if we get Manuel Ugarte. So if there was a world where we could sign Amrabat and they could take Lindelof, I think that would be decent. Obviously, David De Gea has just gone and joined Fiorentina as well, hasn't he? So yeah, I think this is probably one that will happen. I think it's a move that will appeal to Victor Lindelof. You know, it's a top club, top 5 league. And yeah, so hopefully that one happens. As soon as I get any more news on Victor Lindelof, obviously I will bring that to you. So yeah, bear with me. At the moment, Di Marzio saying that Manchester United and Fiorentina are negotiating over a deal. But let's move on from that, though, and let's jump on over to Scott McTominay then, because there is some more good news for you guys this evening. Let me just get it up for you really, really quickly. Right, so this story is coming out from multiple, again, Italian journalists, obviously with Scott McTominay being linked to Napoli, which is obviously in Italy. And the news this evening is that apparently Napoli are discussing figures and commissions with the agent of Scott McTominay in another meeting that has taken place in the last few hours. The story says that McTominay has now given priority to Napoli and he is Antonio Conte's priority player for the midfield. So just to give you a recap of where we are at with Scott McTominay, Manchester United rejected a loan offer from Napoli yesterday and told Napoli, if you want to sign McTominay, it's going to cost you 30 million euros, which I think is perfectly reasonable. 30 million euros is his market value. As the story says, Manchester United are now negotiating with Napoli directly over a deal, and Scott McTominay has given his priority to Napoli to move there this summer. So that's really, really positive, and I think it's another one that probably will happen. There's still 2 weeks left in the window. There's still plenty of time to get this deal done. And obviously, if we manage to send McTominay to Napoli, it will then facilitate us to go and spend the money on Manuel Ugarte. So it's a bit of a domino effect, isn't it? It's a case of one player has to move from one club and then we will be able to secure that deal. But the fact that McTominay has effectively said to Napoli, right, that he is their priority, that's the club he wants to go to, and his agent is now directly negotiating terms, length of contract, and all the rest of it with the club. It looks like that one probably will happen. And as I said, this is coming out from multiple different Italian journalists in the last couple of hours. So yeah, I'm feeling confident about this one. McTominay to Napoli, definitely one to watch. and obviously Lindelof to Fiorentina one to watch as well. We've got over 1,200 people watching the video live now, which is amazing. If you could all do me a small favour and smash a like, that'd be really, really appreciated. We've currently only got 200 likes on today's video, so we've set a likes target of 1,000. If everybody who's watching live goes and likes right now, we will easily hit that target. And we are literally less than 100 away from 38,000 subscribers. So if this is your first time watching, please do go and subscribe. Once we hit 40k, which I think we're going to do by within a week, I think, we will be giving out 2 brand new Manchester United shirts. So if you want to be in with a chance to win a new Manchester United shirt, make sure you go and subscribe. I've just dropped a link into the chat to do that. Yeah, go and get involved. People keep asking about the Fantasy Football League. The mods will post the link to the Fantasy Football League in the chat. It's a code. Yeah, Fred, if you have a look at Fred's comment, the code is 2HCNEG. Fred will keep putting it in the comment section if you want to go and join the Fantasy League. And if there's anybody who has any trouble, go and message me on Twitter and I'll send you the link. Okay, let's move on from that though. Let's move on to... Obviously, there's loads of transfer news, but then there's obviously loads of news around the game tonight. So it's a bit of a weird show because it's like just about to, to start. There is some breaking news, and this may or may not upset some of you, but apparently De Ligt is on the bench. De Ligt will not start the game against Fulham tonight. Apparently, it's going to be Maguire and De Ligt. Sorry, Maguire and Martinez are going to start the game. That must be to do with fitness, I guess. I personally wouldn't do that, but at the same time, Erik ten Hag's the manager. Erik ten Hag's the one who trains the players. Erik ten Hag's the one who watches them every single day. Like, I can give you my opinion, but he knows the fitness levels better than any of us do. Can Harry Maguire do a job against Fulham? I would expect so. It is a bit disappointing because I'd like to see De Ligt tonight, but I trust Erik ten Hag. You've got to give Erik ten Hag a clean slate. You have to. You have to go into this season with a clean slate, let your agendas go, and trust that he knows what he's doing. Until he proves you wrong, trust that he knows what he's doing. That's all we can possibly do. Because otherwise, if you go in there with an agenda, it's just not good, is it? It's not supporting your team. Obviously, you can disagree with their opinions, but yeah. Okay, let's move on from that, though. So just to be clear, apparently De Ligt doesn't start, but Amad Diallo is starting, so that's good. Really, really excited to see what we can serve up tonight. But moving on from that, I want to move on over to Manuel Ugarte because there is more good news coming out tonight in relation to Manuel Ugarte. So let's jump straight onto that because the news this evening, this is coming out from multiple different people. Fabrizio broke the story first, is that apparently Manuel Ugarte will not feature in PSG's first league game of the season, which I believe is tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's today even. It's today at 7:45, so it's literally in about an hour's time. So Manuel Ugarte is not in the squad. Manuel Ugarte is currently training away from the rest of the PSG side. And this makes me think even more that this deal is going to go through. The fact that he's not training with the first team, the fact that he's not now being picked at all, he's not even on the bench, he's not injured. I think it's a pretty, telling sign, to not be included in the team at all for your first game of the season. I think the writing's on the wall. And there are more stories coming out as well in the last kind of half an hour or so, saying that apparently Manuel Ugarte is now effectively telling PSG that he wants to join Manchester United. I don't know if he's quite handed in a transfer request, but he's got to the point where, that is kind of handing in a transfer request, isn't it? He's telling them, I want to leave. I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go to Manchester United. Facilitate this move for me. So Manuel Ugarte to Manchester United is a matter of when, not if. Obviously, we know that Manchester United have to move some players out. We know that people like Hannibal, Pellistri and Victor Lindelof are probably going to leave very, very soon. And we know that Scott McTominay to Napoli is definitely one to keep an eye on. So I would be absolutely stunned if Manchester United don't agree a deal for Manuel Ugarte. The players already agreed to come to Manchester United. We've already agreed wages. We've agreed personal terms. The only thing that is left to do is PSG to reduce their price. And PSG will reduce their price, 100%. They've kind of shot themselves in the foot, in my opinion, because PSG could have included him in the teams, included him in first team training, and probably asked for more money. But the fact that he's not included in any of it shows us all that he's effectively not going to play for PSG again, realistically. So yeah, that's the latest on Manuel Ugarte. And obviously you've got to remember, right, we've only got one more game until the transfer window closes. So I think we can beat Fulham with what we've got today. I would expect Manuel Ugarte to be at Manchester United before the transfer window ends. And that is 2 weeks today. We play Fulham today, and then a week on Saturday we play Brighton. So we've got plenty of time. I think even with our squad we've got now, we can beat Brighton. If we get a big result tonight and the confidence levels are high, I think you go into that Brighton game. We beat them last season, didn't we, away? We beat them 2-0. I think we've got enough to beat Brighton. They've lost some good players. They haven't massively strengthened yet. I know they're getting Ferdi Kadioglu. I know they're getting a couple of other people. But yeah, so yeah, we'll wait and see what happens with that one. If anybody's asking for the Fantasy Football League code thing, I've put it in the chat. Just scroll up a little bit and you will see it. Malp says we've got no striker, no left back, and Harry Maguire starting. We're in massive trouble. Oh, come on, mate. Come on. We've got to be a bit positive tonight. It's the start of a new season. Manchester United have the most points in the first game of the season out of any club. You know that. I'm probably going to jinx it now. We'll probably get battered 5-0 or something. But it would be an absolute disaster if we lost the game tonight. It would. And it would be such a shock. I don't know what the bookies are saying, but I assume the bookies are massively in our favour for the game tonight. Because Man United never lose the first game of the season. Very, very rarely. I know we lost to Brighton a couple of years ago, but if you look at the stats over since the Premier League started, we've picked up the most points in the opening fixture out of any team ever. So, I'm confident. I think it'll be fine. The thing that I want the most is that we just go out and play good football and we win. So Manchester United are heavily odds-on favourites to win this game tonight. So I'm pretty confident. Macmillan says De Ligt has had no pre-season. He has been ridiculed by the media already. If he has a bad game due to no pre-season, imagine what the media will do to him. Can't risk him starting. Fair enough. That's a fair point. I mean, Maguire has been at the club for 5 years now? Jin says, how can anybody be positive when not a single new player will start? I think Mazraoui's starting, mate. He's new, isn't he? Amad Diallo feels like a new player to me. I know it sounds a little bit strange, but Amad Diallo genuinely feels like a new signing to me. He's been off on loan. He's been injured. This is Amad Diallo's year. I mean, even Jadon Sancho feels like a new signing. And I know some people won't like that comment, but he does, When was the last time Jadon Sancho played for Manchester United? Obviously, he's played in pre-season, but in a proper match. It's been a long time, isn't it? So, yeah. Right, let's see what else I've got planned for the show this evening. Let's have a quick look in the chat, see what everyone is saying. Stephanie says 3 points is all that matters. Yeah, of course. Exactly. At the end of the day, right, we just need to win this football game. It's as simple as that. Rob says we haven't strengthened if we don't play our new signings. Mate, it's literally the first game of the season. We've only signed these players 3 days ago. You have to give them time. I would like to see De Ligt starting tonight, but I'm not the manager of Manchester United. So it's kind of irrelevant what I think. I trust Erik Ten Hag. Ten Hag's won us 2 trophies back to back. The first Manchester United manager to win a trophy in 6 years. I trust him. He has my full trust. So I'm not going to criticise Erik Ten Hag if he starts Harry Maguire. I'm not. Because he knows better than any of us. You can all tell me that Martinez and De Ligt have to start, but have you been watching them in training? No, of course you haven't. Do you know their fitness levels? No, of course you don't. He is the manager of Manchester United. We are just fans sat in our bedrooms or our living rooms thinking that our opinion is more important than Erik Ten Hag's. That's not how it works. So I trust Ten Hag. Am I disappointed that De Ligt might not be starting? Of course I am, but I trust him, and I think he will end up making the right decision. But you can obviously let me know what you guys think. I'm fully backing Erik Ten Hag, 150%, and I think we probably will see a little bit of De Ligt. He might just not start the game from the beginning, which is obviously fine and probably to be expected. Abhishek says, "What's your starting 11?" My starting 11 would be this: I'd go Onana in goal. I would go with Dalot at left back. I'd go with Martinez, De Ligt, and Mazraoui. Midfield 3. I was going with Mason Mount, Kobe Mainoo, and Bruno. And then attacking, I would go with Garnacho on the left. I would go with Ahmad and then Xerxes. But as I said, I'm just somebody sat in my bedroom. I don't watch the players train. I have no idea what their fitness levels are. That's the team I would like to see play, but that's just based on what I want to see, not what is good in reality, So people are asking if Mason Mount's going to start. I don't think so, mate, but maybe. I wouldn't mind Mason Mount starting, to be honest. I think we need to go out in this game tonight against Fulham and really attack them, We need to really, really go for it. But yeah, we'll wait and see what happens. Right, I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. I'm just going to keep it as a short one tonight because otherwise we're just going to end up talking about the game forever. So I will be back at 10 p.m. Hopefully it will be a happy Kieran after we've gone and thrashed Fulham. Make sure you join me for that. I'll be back at 10 p.m. For the match reaction. Please make sure to smash a like and subscribe before you leave. This has been Daily Red Devil, and I'll speak to you all in a few hours' time. Go and enjoy the game. Football's back. Go and enjoy it. I'll speak to you in a couple of hours, guys. Bye for now.